All right, happy Saturday night, everybody, and particularly if you're a Texas Tech fan, and improbable perhaps Saturday night of happiness, but here it is. Welcome to Raiderland Rewind, coming to you from the Arctic Air Studios on a wet, gray, drizzly, torrential downpour at times day in West Texas, but one that sees Joey McGuire get his biggest win at Texas Tech. One of the bigger upsets in the Big 12 this year. Texas Tech goes to Ames and upsets number 11 Iowa State after being two touchdown underdogs for most of the week, 23-22. This is Raiderland Rewind, brought to you by Thacker Jewelry in Lubbock, Texas. Glad you're with us tonight. Get in where you can, how you can, and join us thanks to United Supermarkets on the chat line. There's one grocery store in West Texas that sends money to Texas Tech. There's another one that sends it downstate to somebody else. So if you're on X, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook Live, all you got to do is fire away. The early arrivals, you know what to do. Let us know the audio is good, the video is good, and everything else, give us thumbs up, hearts, whatever. Used to on Periscope, you do the heart or whatever, anymore. Just let us know you're out there, and we get rocking and rolling tonight. Our thoughts, we'll roll through it pretty quickly. Your comments and questions, and we'll go as long as everything is interesting, entertaining, and otherwise for everybody who wants to be a part of it. All right, let's do it in 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com, where you start your day every day, including tomorrow. We'll have our column, 5 Things We Know on a Sunday, ready to roll for you. Tonight, we're looking on Raiderland Rewind at Texas Tech's 23-22 victory here in the Arctic Air Studios, and we'll get your thoughts. I'll give you mine first. My casual appearance today. Okay, today it was absolute raining, quagmire downpour like we hadn't seen in a long time. I got drenched. On the way home back to the Arctic Air Studios. I didn't have time when the game started to pretty up, but maybe I have to wear this shirt more often because today we were rocking. Get a load of that. Who doesn't love a little bit of that right there? That shirt is undefeated. That shirt is undefeated right now this year. So perhaps we have to wear the Double Deuce shirt a couple of more times. So I'll give you my thoughts on this thing. It was a wild ride today, was it not? The beginning, yeah. And then again, much like last week, the brownout offensively in the second quarter, you wonder, Taj Brooks, he's got to be hurt, right? Something's going on. But the defense kept showing up. They kept showing up. And then obviously we see what plays out and how it goes from there and what happens and everything else. A few comments rolling in. I'll give you my 5 major points and then we'll get your questions and comments. Never had any doubt. Alan on Twitter X. I forgot to factor in Joey McGuire being 8-2 in November at Tech and Iowa State. Fades in November. They go to hide in November. Chris is good to go on Facebook. Greg, audio is great. Glad to have you out there. One of our YouTube watchers, listeners, audience members. Growing YouTube. Everybody who watches on Facebook and Twitter, even if you don't watch on YouTube, go subscribe. And then everybody on YouTube tonight, give us like hearts or whatever it is. Or it's thumbs up on YouTube, I think. And apparently that's really good for the algorithm. Michael knew it from the start. Let's roll off of YouTube. Oh, yeah, baby. We're here. Reckham is here. Another YouTube. Gary, big win for the good guys. Biggest win in the Joey McGuire era, for sure. Lynn, loud and clear. Good evening, Raider fans. Lynn is always nice enough on Twitter to send us what he's having pregame meal. It was hot dogs today, and he was not thwarted by the 2 to 3 inches of rain deluge we received here around the Hubbaplex and the South Plains between about 10 and noon. Unbelievable. Greg, so many opportunities to expand the lead, but Tech won. Yes, they did. All right, how else are we doing here? The Heart Attack Raiders on YouTube. Oh, thank you. Great shirt. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the Double Deuce, man. You watch out, mijo. Quagmire Downpour, good name for a racehorse, or Downpour Quagmire, maybe. Be a good one. What is this moisture that you described? It was everywhere. Needed the win today. Joey McGuire was emotional in the interview after the game. He was emotional. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that as we go through. All right. We got a ton of comments coming in. That's what I want. I'm going to get to your thoughts, your questions. We can roll through different game scenarios. There were up moments, there were down moments, everything in between. So let us begin, shall we? And again, we get a ton of comments. If I don't get to yours, I don't hate you. I might miss it. It's okay. And it won't bother me if I miss it and you want to, text it in again, chat it in again. Thanks to United Supermarkets in Market Street. Just say, hey, you might have missed it. Go ahead and do that. Doesn't bother me. I apologize. We've got a ton, a ton of comments every night when we do the daily broadcast in this, that I go back sometimes and I might go, oh, I wish I'd addressed that. So glad you're with us. I think you can share this and invite your friends in. And I would really like to set a record tonight for most viewers during the Joey McGuire era. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it would be nice to have that after a win as opposed to after a loss, because for the most part, doing what I do in the media and other people in the media and talk radio and other things, dirty little secret, negativity sells bigger than positivity. True story. Maybe change that tonight. This game belongs to the Texas Tech defense. Tech defense gets the game ball, the only game ball they get one. What about the great drive at the end of the game for the offense? Fine, great. But the Texas Tech defense repeatedly put in bad spots, responded. Tim DeRuyter dialing up some pressure. We love that dialing up. Yeah, I'd like to call up pressure here. Hold on here. We're going to dial up some pressure. There we go. Defense won the game, pure and simple. Defense harassed Beck for most of the game, took away their run game for the most part. The defense won this game for you over and over and over, forcing them to go for it one time, then not go for it another time, then go for it and kick a field. The defense dictated the game. You play to win the game. The defense, Tim DeRuyter's defense, and that's Joey McGuire, by the way. Joey McGuire's defensive guy. Anyway, the defense dictated and won. The final drive, culture. Texas Tech fans aren't used to winning games like this, and they've won some games like this and won some close games and done some things in the short tenure of Joey McGuire where he's still plus money on Big 12 games. He's got you in a bowl game again. You got a chance to win 4 bowl games. Hadn't happened at Texas Tech ever. I'm not his PR man. I'm just saying the facts. But that they've won some of these games. They've gone to Arizona. They've gone to Iowa State and won twice now in his tenure. They've won. You're not used to winning these games. I understand if it's hard to adjust to that. Hell, it's hard for me. The Jekyll and Hyde offense continues. God bless Zach Kitley. He has 1,000,001 plays. I wish he had about 100 plays. But he's got 1,000,001 plays. And he ain't afraid to dial them up. And sometimes it's good, and sometimes you're just thinking too damn much, young man. You're a brilliant offensive mind. You truly are. Your offense, which I have no idea what it is, your offense is different from your offensive philosophy. The offensive philosophy, I don't know what it is. Maybe the offensive philosophy is we have so many things, even we don't know what we're going to do at a given moment. But outthought the room a lot of different times. I don't mind. I love the creativity with formations. I've been the one screaming about get Conyers back there and do some different things. But sometimes, like they're on the goal line, 1st and goal at the 1, false start because you bring in Conyers. Now, here's where I'm going to say, if it hadn't happened earlier in the game, maybe not that big a deal, but you'd already had a problem earlier in the game with Conyers and his cadence and his snap count on the offensive line not responding to it, and then you false start again. How about, call me crazy, well, we build that full house backfield with Morton quarterback, Tajbrook, Conyers back there, and, put Tharp or whoever you want to, and we do something like that. Or, you come back a minute later and go, Wildcat Taj Brooks. Don't think so much. Joey McGuire on the postgame show, and one of the reasons I wanted to go at 7, I wanted to make sure I heard what he had to say regarding the game on radio. And thanks to Tech Network, they were finally able to get the audio up and posted, and everything else. What he was thinking about different situations and everything else. I really wanted to kind of hear about the second quarter. And he kind of gave it to Iowa State, taking Brooks away. You didn't give him the ball to the first drive. You still got to give him the damn ball. So the offense still Jekyll and Hyde, but they showed up in the nick of time. You made some really bad choices, coaching wise at times. Going for it on fourth down late, right call. Going for it after the penalty, wrong call. Punt. And then the drive before the winning drive, where all you had to do was run some clock, and you give Brooks the ball, and then you go 2 incomplete passes and you punt. That's unacceptable. That if they don't pull your ass out of the fire with a great, 2-minute drive and win it, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a defense that played their ass off, and you gave it away with a piss poor, horrible coaching decision on that play call. Horrible. Not play call, play calls. And the ball's being snapped with 27 seconds. The clock management was horrible. It's got to improve. And you're bowl eligible. We mentioned that. 7-2, I believe, is the number for McGuire in November. Either 7-2 going in or 8-2 now. I'm not really sure. We'll get more thoughts, questions, comments. I can roll through different scenarios, tell you what I think. You can give me what you think. Let's do it. Let's make it happen right now. I want to go back one more time. I agree. Right there. 100%. I agree. Needed the win today. Emotional after the game. Yes, he was talking about how they were, reading social media and all this stuff. Coach never mentioned that. Don't ever talk about it post game. Don't talk about how people are mean, fans are mean when you lose 2 games. Don't mention that the players are down. Tell them to get off social media. End of story. Don't ever do that again. Thank you. Joey seems to find a way when he needs it most. Yes, he does. Ugly, but a win's a win. Several bad passes, several crazy play calls, several missed tackles. But as the saying goes, just win, baby, and that's all you got to do. Morton missed a lot of opportunities. They were 9 of 13, 4 of 13 deep today, 15 yards or deeper. One, I applaud the shots. I've been the guy railing, saying, hey, if you're going to run the ball, you got to take play action and do that. You got to hit some open passes. Not a great game for Baron Morton, but all people will remember for the most part is the final drive. Randy's, who's on Facebook, which is a social media platform and not necessarily a drug. Todd's getting very frustrated towards the end of the game with all the low IQ penalties. False start, false start, false start. When you do this. Michael says Tech is going bowling. I think they're going to the airport and they're coming home. And then they will get to a bowl game. Bowling is like the lowest achievement you can have in college football now. And I'm not sure, it was one of the, I guess, Pac-12 ADs, which is like 2 people, right? And now I don't know which one's saying, hey, the bowls are done. Let's end it. Let's expand the playoff to 28. Sign me up. Give me like 11 regular season games. We'll go to a 28. You get it. Greg, yep, Joey does know how to make it happen in November. Don't count him out. I'm not counting him out. Let's get to 500 YouTube subs. That would be fantastic. That's one of those little metrics that's kind of cool. And we got a lot of subscribers on there and a lot of people that check in and everything. It's awesome. So those of you who we got thousands on Twitter, thousands on Facebook. So if some of you guys want to peel off and subscribe and everything else, that's cool. If everybody just gives a thumb up on YouTube, that'd be awesome as well. Why do we snap the ball with 25 seconds on the play clock while trying to burn clock? Because they're stupid. That's low IQ football, and you've got to understand the situation. You've got to know what's going on, and you've got to be better than that. And they weren't. That next to last drive should have cost you the game. Could have cost you the game, but it didn't. You won. But that doesn't mean you don't go back and come Monday that you sit there and rail as a coach and go, and first off to the coaches, what are we doing here? The one thing you can't do on that drive, you did. You didn't burn clock. Well, okay, the one thing, 2 things. Don't turn it over, i.e. be stupid. Don't turn it over. And then you got to run clock. Darren wants to know, or is saying, there's a party in Lubbock tonight. Well, by all means, where are we going? Not that I can get there on my roads tonight. We barely made it back. Shot of Matt Campbell saying what happened needs to be turned into a meme. I guess I missed it. Must have been looking down at the time. Chris giving us thumbs up on YouTube. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. Upvote, whatever it's called. I don't know how it works. Greg, great to go bowling. Now let's win some. You got some more to win. You got some more to win. Money line cashes for Texas Tech. Anybody? I didn't even look. What was Tech on the money line? Like plus 300, plus $3 or something. Another one of our friends on Twitter X, definitely going to have to try and work this win into my radio show on Tuesday. Glad you got a radio show coming up on Tuesday. Work it in there. Figure out a way. West Texas in Australia. We need to know more about this. We might all tune in and listen. Keyboard warriors, tap the brakes. I've got a group of friends, and hopefully by now they realize that I'm not going to respond to you during the game. When they start texting me, That's why we try to confine even ourselves on Twitter in real-time reaction to the real-time moment and not say, fire everybody, this is over, it's all going to, you get close sometimes. You get close. But prisoner of the moment, and keyboard warriors, they were out there today. McGuire was fired 7 times on my text message chain. Greg, man, his ear was cut in that after game interview. Tough headset. Yeah, and again, people were pointing that out. I'm like, I got to go back and look at that. I was paying more attention to what he was saying and not the fact that he got cut up or something on that. Trevor said, jump on. Sounds painful. Larry's on YouTube. As bad as the fumble was last week, the TD play call this week was just as awesome. Terrific play. Which TD play call? The Wildcat play call? And where did I write that down? I wrote something down on a great play call. Oh no, the law. Okay, the play that's going to get lost. Thank you, Larry. Was the second and 2 at the 14 with 40 seconds, in the lob to Jordan Brown, who I'm still not sure. He didn't get in. He was this close. That was right out of the late 70s, early 80s. A little dump pass over the middle. And when I say Zach Kitley has 1,000,001 plays, and they're all really cool, I mean that as a compliment. And he pulls that out of his back pocket right there. And even though it wasn't a touchdown, I'm like, and freaking Baron Morton, you're just like, oh crap, it's there. And you can just see the arm. I gotta just guide it, don't overthrow it, don't. And we could sit there and say, well, if he, just guns it in there. And remember, it's raining. It's drizzling, it's raining. And I'm trying to hold on to the ball. I've made the great play look. And Allison, my eyes go, he's there. Don't this up. And you just almost just try to shot put it right there. Dry track and everything else, you might give it a little more. But that to me was the really cool play call right there. Defense is definitely talented, young. I was afraid Tech squandering a good defensive effort. Yeah, they were definitely squandering a good defensive effort for most of the night until they didn't. That's just the way it goes. Robertson Rodriguez, great law firm. They will shut you out of any settlement you want. There's my girl Jan showing up. We were good enough. Indeed, the good enough defense was more than good enough. They were great tonight. They were great. Tim DeRuyter, game ball. Tim DeRuyter is a hell of a defensive coordinator. Give him some players to work with. Give him some dudes. Give him a healthy defense. Anybody who wants to make a change on defensive coordinator at Texas Tech, I disagree with you wholeheartedly. I hope Tim DeRuyter stays as long as he wants to. Houston beating Kansas State. They did 22-19. So, yeah, Kansas State losing to mighty Houston. There is that Kansas State moment every year that they seem to have that keeps them from doing more than they could. Jason, another one of our great YouTube audience members, and we appreciate you being out there tonight. Kitley's play calling is maddening, but a win's a win. Agreed. It's all about winning. Just win, baby. And I agree that the play calling is maddening to me at times. And I feel bad because it seems so negative. And play calling it is an art, and it's so easy to look at the outcome of a play and say that was a good or bad play call. And I try really hard not to do that. That a bad play call can result in a good outcome, and a great play call can result in a bad outcome. I really try hard to fight about it, and these forums are not really good in real time, Jason, to allow us to go through and do that. I could do an hour just on the theory of play call, situation, time, and everything else. And I will say this, that again, and this is going to sound really negative, I think one of the things that for a young coach, and Zach Kitley's still a young coach, it's that moment of time and understanding implicitly where we are in the game, everything around me, what's going on. And yeah, this is a great play, but is this the greatest play right now? What do I really need to do? What am I trying to accomplish? And I know that's an incredibly superficial analysis, and I apologize for that. And I know Coach Kitley watches this, not Zach, but Wes. And I know some tech people watch this, and I apologize for the superficial analysis. But I do think, and this is not just Zach, but a lot of offense coordinators get caught up in the play, in the process. Cliff Kingsbury is a great example of this, and some others, that it's easy to lose sight of a larger picture of other things that impact that moment. So how do you do that? How do you get better at that? You get better at that. You get older, or you have an offensive coordinator who's the head coach, and the head coach. Well, anyways, yes, it's maddening at times. Gary, really like the effort of Roberts and Rodriguez. You should. Do you know what the offensive philosophy should be? Run the ball. Yes, run the damn ball. Run it some more. Got away from running the ball. Before the game started, Joey McGuire, got to run the ball. Ran the ball first drive, stopped running the ball. Why'd you stop running the ball? After the game, well, they did some things. No, they didn't. You didn't get the ball to him. Run the ball. Kitley's offensive philosophy is like Trump's. The weave, it starts off right, wanders, God knows where, somehow ends up back in the right place, don't know how, got there. Crap offensive PI in the first half, should have been Tech 17-13. Yeah. I mean, penalties, Big 12 officiating. There were several that you're just like scratching your head, and then you had your own that were problems. Let's see. 1,000,001 plays, 75% of them are horizontal passes, not as many today. No, thank goodness, not as many today. I hate them all, though. The fish are out there. Just, they're farther out. I mean, they took some shots. There were times when I was like, quit taking shots downfield, just give it to Brooks. Speaking of Tharp, we so under and misutilize him so badly. Yeah, he's hardly been targeted the last couple of weeks. He was out there in a couple of progressions today. I don't know the snap count for him. I'm sorry. I can only keep up with so much in real time. I would like to see more, Beating UT last home game was a bigger win. No, this is a bigger win. This is a much bigger win. You take down an undefeated Iowa State team. No. Bigger win. Bigger win on the road. Jason, right, we have no concept of clock management. I really didn't feel like it. 14-3. Yes, you're right. Okay, you said 17. Yeah, 14. And McGuire mentioned that on the postgame show, I think, a little bit. So Kitley rewarded for idiocracy or idiocy there at the end. Rewarded for idiocy. How was he rewarded for idiocy? Which idiocy? Now there was idiocy on a penalty, but every now and then you get yours and they get yours. The false starts. So some of those false starts obviously were when you were changing up who was barking the signals. You had some big ones when Conyers came in. Other than that, you get a guy in the press box and he's got a BB gun, maybe a dart gun, air gun, and he just shoots the guy every time you have a false start. I wrote up some of that in the first half of the year that you were moving guys around position to position. I mean, this was a discussion in the NFL earlier this year with the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers and false start and cadence and everything else. Just don't freaking jump. How about that? Be disciplined. Don't do it. Now, when you change up quarterbacks, and we saw that tonight with Conyers coming in, yeah, that changes everything. Barron wasn't even sharp at the final drive. He missed Kelly, but did enough to win. No, he was not sharp tonight. I'm not going to pretend that he had just, freaking, Roger Staubach 2-minute drill, can't be stopped, John Elway, fill in the blank, Patrick Mahomes. What the hell is that? That can't be good. I mean, there were multiple underthrows, overthrows, misthrows. Again, I think he's playing hurt. Well, I know he's playing hurt. He got hurt last week, and they had the X-ray machine didn't work at TCU, and we didn't know, and he couldn't put him back in. He got back, and he was playing. Dude's hurt. The dude's hurt. All right. Try to cut him a little slack on that. Craig says Tech is bowl eligible. They could lose out, and the average Tech fan is ecstatic because we're going to a mediocre bowl game. Well, I hope you're not ecstatic. As we say, the bowl game is the bottom line least acceptable, or not least acceptable, the bottom line acceptable outcome of the season. You must be bowl eligible. So now you need to beat Colorado. You need to beat Oklahoma State. You ought to beat West Virginia. You could win out. Holy crap. That'd be like 6 and then 8, 7, 8, 9. You can win 9 games. Of course, you could lose all of them as well because the Big 12 is right here. Margin of error winning is that, beat K-State. Well, don't get to play them. Why give your cell to friends? They must be really cool and they have awesome insight during the game. They're the dumbest, drunkest individuals I know on game day. I'm amazed they can type and text me enough as the game goes on that I can decipher what exactly they may or may not be saying. Except for the ones that say fire McGuire, fire Kitley, fire. They can't spell DeRuyter. DeRuyter's always like D and then like ROOT or it's just. David jumps in. Finally, could have used David on the post-game show tonight on radio, helping out technically. The tight shot of Matt Campbell after the score, where you can read his lips saying what happened, should be turned into a meme. Somebody mentioned that earlier. I guess I totally was looking down when that transpired. I miss out on all the good memes. Sucks. I hate that. I miss out on a story of my life. When I was 10, 12 years old, I'd miss on the good memes. CJ says the fish were out there. At least Morton was casting further out today. Yeah, casting further out today at times when I was wishing they were running it, because I'm never happy. I'm never satisfied. But no, that may be, and we'd have to go back and look. The 15, what was it? 4 of 13 deep, the 13 chunks downfield may have been the most, gosh, that may be the most all year. That may be the most all year on deep shots. And Joey McGuire's talked about that. They've talked about that publicly about what's the point of having a great running attack if you can't play action off it. Then there was one time we were in a play action. Where was it? Oh, yeah, 1st and 10 on the Tech 40 on the last drive, right? I was kind of cracked up. No, it was the incomplete. It was 2nd and 10 and the incomplete where he overthrows Kelly. I'm like, why are you bothering to play action? They're probably not going to respect it too much right now. They're worried about going deep. They just run the ball, and that's why you had plus 16. What were the runs on that? Brooks had a 14 and a 16-yard run. By the way, Brooks, I hadn't even gone through any stats tonight. Doesn't matter. Another 100-yard game. One of the greatest college football running backs I've watched in the last 25, 30 years. And it has nothing to do with him being at Texas Tech. That dude works so hard and does what he does. Please, some NFL team that you like, draft him, get him in there, and utilize him in some form or fashion. Are we daring to see an era where running backs might come back? You sank their battleship. Good job, Derek. B4, hit. C5, hit. D6, hit. Bill's on YouTube. Love our YouTube people. Everybody on YouTube, thank you for being out there. Give us, thumbs up and all that stuff. I think we have too many offensive options between Taj, Josh, Coy Hudson, tight ends. Raider fans aren't used to balanced attack. 37 points a game, 160 rebounds per game. Yeah, relatively young team. No, they do. What the heck's going on here? I'm being invaded here in the Arctic Air Studios. This ought to be interesting. You going to come up here or not? What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? You coming in? Are you? You're going to do it. Get up here and say hi to everybody. Yeah. All right. There you go. Go. That was Finch, everybody. Finch apparently doesn't want to be a part of the proceedings, but is more than willing to knock off any beverage I have. Bill, I agree with you that this Texas Tech team has a lot of options offensively, and it's almost impossible to sit there and say, well, if we give Tharp 5 passes, we didn't give Kelly 5 passes. If we give Conyers this, we didn't give Brooks that. We 100% I agree with that. And I think that is a wonderful problem to have. So then it becomes situationally, how do you utilize those in the best moment situationally? Again, a challenge. Reckham on YouTube. Joey mentioned some officiating too. I thought they did a decent job. Hit the Cyclones. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody loses this game and just immediately goes to the officials. All right. Meanwhile, the Frogs with an early lead over Baylor. We're just starting there on that one. It is 7-0, 2:21 in the first. Really? Are you just say hi? Everybody say hi. That's Finch right there. Now, I don't know how you got in here because I thought I had the door closed, but you have to go now because there are no cats allowed in the Arctic Air studio during Rewind, except for you, of course. Dogs will be here in a minute now. Limes are too wet to burn on campus tonight. Did not have Houston wins over Utah and Kansas State on my bingo card. Love the Big 12. Some of my national media friends were texting me, while all that was going on, everything like, this game is nuts. This game is so Big 12. How does anyone ever predict the Big 12? And here we saw. Remember a couple of weeks ago where the largest spread in the Big 12 was like 7 points on a point spread? So here you saw a 2-touchdown spread, and the upset comes in. The dog wins. It's a really good football league. There's not a great team in this league. There are a bunch of really good teams. There's not a great team in this league, but they're really good, and it makes for great football. It makes for great watching. Larry looked like a direct snap to Taj. Don't anyone else handle the rock. Yeah, that's what it was. Wildcat on the touchdown. Homemade potato soup. It's raining, fireplace lit up, and Tech win. Life is good. Like the way you're thinking there. Did not have Houston. Love the Big 12. Was the first half lack of Taj runs in anticipation of the rain in the second half. I can't imagine why. The stated reason was that they were giving us so much downfield. And by us, I mean, that's what Tech said. Was it McGuire who said that? Maybe one of the dumb interviews or something. Anyways, that they were giving Tech so much downfield that they had to take it. Well, you can still run the ball. Now, it wasn't just, hey, it's going to rain, we're going to do that. What's the frequency, Kenneth? Just a Dan Rather. Just win, baby. Another just win. Morton shoulders like last year. Play-by-play from here on out, I agree. Probably the case. Weird that that comment popped up just like that. It was a reply to another. It happens. Don't worry about it. Jeff, not only can that Clay Aiken sing, he can catch a football. And his feet are different sizes. He got hung up in a bad wreck back in his rodeo days, young rodeo days. Andrea says hi to Finch. Hi, Finch. Yeah, Scout ain't coming in here. Then Sadie and Indy, unless it starts thundering, probably won't be making an appearance. The cat can open the door when the door is closed. Cat now has assumed a chair over there and is enjoying the show. Ryan, despite all the things they could do better, Tech has tons of good under Joey. That's nice for a change. 100%. 100%. Hold on a second. Got to refuel just for a little bit here. Didn't know you guys were going to keep us around this long tonight. And that's, I said Tech fans aren't used to winning games like this. You're used to losing games like this. I've covered the program as a media member since 1989. I've watched the program as a fan or whatever since the 70s. And you're used to losing this game. I think Tech has always been good. We're just always too harsh on our own team. I mean, Tech's not always been good. They've not always been bad. Every fan base is hard on their team. Tech will always play teams close. So that's not always the case. I've seen them get blown out. I've seen them, whatever. Do you have you launch your boat today with all the rain? Barely got back to the Arctic Air Studios today. The dirt roads today were a challenge, to say the least. And can't wait to see what it looks like tomorrow. Trace, goal line offense needs a page from the Belichick Patriots playbook. Here's what, and and this is probably anecdotal, and I can go look at the red zone. Dang it, dadgummit. I closed the window that I had this kind of the stats for the full year up. I really like a lot of the things that Kitley does in the red zone of the goal line, but it seems like they hadn't been I don't know. Again, we talk about 1,000,001 plays. And I thought they overthought it way too much, on the Conyers play first and goal. Yeah, maybe first and 9, first and goal for the 9 on that first and goal. Quarterback sneak or anyhow. They got a lot of different things. I still love the full house backfield. That my favorite play they've run all year, go back to the 4th and 1 at the 21 against North Texas in Lubbock early in the year. They have a full house backfield. They run split flow, and Taj Brooks scores from 21 out. And it's beautiful, and you can do so many things off that. That to me, that is my really 15, 10 yards in, if we want to play it that way, offensive set. Because I can run, I can pass, I can misdirection, counter. I can do so many different things with it. And I'm not taking anybody really out of a route flow. I'm moving a tight end into the backfield. I'm not taking anybody out of a route flow, whether it's a Kelly or anybody else. But yes, Belichick, Patriots, goal line, quarterback sneak. We're not messing around. This win makes the last 2 weeks even that much more frustrating. Now, there's a real Tech fan who snatches disenchantment from the jaws of enjoyment. Good. If we just won those other 2 games, this night would have been good. That is a real Tech fan. That cracks me up. Brenda Ivy Schaefer. Getting frustrated with coaches too, but in my years of watching football on all levels, if it was easy, everyone would do it. I think there are easier ways to make a living. Even if you win, someone's not going to like something you did. I just want them to help Taj break Hanspard's record. Why do you hate Byron Hanspard? Why do you hate Behan? Why do you hate the man who came to Texas Tech because God came to him while he was in the shower? Why do you want to do that? That's horrible. Horrible, I tell you. No, yeah, hey, coaching's hard, teaching's hard. Working at the grocery store on a 12-hour shift is hard. I'm not one of those who's going to sit there and be this over glorification of coaches because I came from a coaching family. Is it hard? Yeah. Do you get criticized? Yeah. A lot of people get criticized. They get paid well. They get paid a lot better now than they used to. But, I'm not going to be one of those who's just going to say, well, if you're not doing it, what do you know? Well, that's just anything in life. They have chosen a life. Is that Sopranos? This is the life we have chosen. Or is that Sopranos, or is that The Godfather? This is the life we have chosen. I think that is Godfather. Anyhow, that's the way it goes. You do something that's very open to public criticism. My entire professional life, I have done things that are open to public criticism. My entire life, I've been involved in the media where we get ratings and people listen, they don't, they gripe, they complain, they like it, they don't like it, they hammer me on social media, they like me on social media when they like me and everything else. And you just have to go, okay, yeah, that's not that big a deal. I get what you're saying. I truly do. But why do we want to break Hanspard's record? Oh, we want to break Hanspard's record because that means Taj is doing good. We want every record to be broken. I'm just kind of kidding on that about the Hanspard too. The Jones is going to be lit next week. Hopefully, it'll be a night game. That'll be announced tomorrow on the 6-day window. Dan, I bet Alan Corbin would have to get a tattoo of Hanspard's report card if Tech won today. Oh, you bet him that he would have to get it. So is he what? Now clarify this. Now, so Alan Corbin, who watches, I believe, on Twitter, former contributor to Raiderland, he's busy these days. So now, if the Tech won, he has to get a tattoo of Hanspard's report card. Which one? Brenda, I don't, because I watched him set it. I just want him to break it because it's partly why he came back. Yeah, no, I'm good. I was just playing around on that. I want him to get it. Hanspard wants him to get it. Did you guys see the preseason video encouraging Taj Brooks? Hanspard wants him to get it. I want him to get it. And I never really thought in this, realm of college football we'd see anybody kind of break records like that from a rushing standpoint. Carter McKenzie, I don't have the words to describe the game other than Tech won. They really needed to win. You just did. What's the line next week versus Colorado? Coach Prime. No, Tech will be favored, I bet, at home. I bet Tech will be favored. I'd flip that around. I'd say Tech 2.5 on the open. We'll see tomorrow what circa opens that. Prime's really big public money, so you can kind of massage that a little bit. And if they think they're getting some, they'll flip it around. I would open it Texas Tech 2.5 favor. See what happens. Price you pay, the life you choose. Godfather 3. It's the life we've chosen. Godfather 2. Thank you. I don't know why I wanted to make that Sopranos. Dan says correct. So my man Alan getting a tattoo. Larry, also enjoy your occasional Twitter contributions to VSiN. Solid Radio Network. Those guys are the best. I love them. When I was doing my daily radio show here in Lubbock, after they debuted, they were great coming on. We were an affiliate on Talk 103.9 FM News, Money, and Sports. So with Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, all those guys were great coming on. They were kind enough to have me on and have had me on numerous times over the years with my guys in the desert, all my good people. So yeah, thanks, and always give them a shout out. It's really they are doing ground. It's rare to see anybody that can really do something new in media. And when Brent Musburger, and they launched that, it was really new. It was radically different how they were doing something. I didn't, I was surprised that you could really do something that radically different and it would work. It's connected. And now with FAFSA passing and everything else several years ago in 17 and more sports betting around the country, their content is still unique and better than anybody else who's doing it. That's why we pay attention to it. You will learn more, whether you are a sports bettor or not. You will learn more about the teams and about the games if you pay attention to VSiN. That's why we do. Thank you for that. We have fun. We have fun going back and forth. There's the Twitter messages I send, and then the text messages that you don't get to hear. Timbo, Coach Joey is one of us, and I will say that will pay off given time. He's one of you. He is? Is he? He's one of you. My uncle lived a life of public criticism too. 30 years in the Whataburger drive-thru. That's funny. I don't care who you are. All right, we can keep going for just a few more minutes if you want to. I've given you my thoughts. I've given you everything. Those who want to watch it, if you're getting in late, you can watch a replay. We're going to put this on the website at theraiderland.com tonight, here in just a few minutes. You can enjoy that and share that. Put that out there on your Facebook page, Twitter, everything else. Grow it. All the people that are joining. We've seen a ton of folks on YouTube tonight. I really enjoy growing that. We got thousands and thousands and thousands on Twitter, and we love that. Same with Facebook. Right now, it's Raiderland. I just encourage everybody to subscribe to all the platforms. They're all free. Everything we do is free. And just, then watch the shows wherever you want. But if you can do that, that's really good. Did I write down anything I hadn't got to yet? I don't think so. Oh, okay. I'll kind of sum it up by saying again, it's a victory that Tech fans just aren't used to winning. You're all wound up for 3.5 hours. Offense sucks. This is horrible. We were going to squander it. Hold on, we won? They scored a game-winning drive? Don't know how to react. I get it. I understand. So just enjoy it. Just enjoy these games are freaking hard to win. So enjoy it. Have some fun with it. Have some fun with it. Iowa State. Nice pedestrian bridge. You got a good one going on up there. I mean, you just derailed Iowa State. Enjoy it. And again, Texas Tech can win every remaining game. They can lose every remaining game. Just go ahead and enjoy it. Arizona State up 35-14 over Oklahoma State. Sounds like they're trying to quit on the season. How about Arizona today? 56-12. UCF beats them. Welcome to not playing in the Pac-12. Then we've got, like I said, Arizona State 35, Oklahoma State 14. So when you play Gundy, is that their last home? Could that be his last game as head coach there? They wouldn't fire him. Let's see. Nah, it doesn't matter. We'll get there. Best days of Joey are still ahead of us. Last week, Joey McGuire put his head on a stake, put it in your driveway, call it Halloween. Today, the best days are ahead of us. Not saying you said that, Chris. Big Colorado 9-3 is in sight. That's not the most ridiculous comment anybody's going to make. Aggies losing to South Carolina 17-6. Come on, man. Aggies are going to Aggie. Trying to queue up my top 25 scoreboard, and I'm so not getting that in real time. There we go. All right, the Clemson 7-3 over the Louisville. Got to click that. 7:29 in the second. I'm on the CBSSports.com score page, and they got so many pop-ups it kills me. 17-6, second quarter, 8:45, A&M down. Looks like South Carolina, they're fighting Jim Carlins with 2 first quarter touchdowns there at William Bryce Stadium. Beautiful stadium. Tennessee down to Kentucky early, second quarter, 7-0. Pittsburgh and SMU, 13-3. This is the rematch of the 1983 Cotton Bowl. 83, 82 Cotton Bowl. SMU leading 13-3 with 14:15 left in the first half. They're playing that at Gerald J. Ford Stadium. Shout out Army. They had to play without the pride of Abernathy today, and they still get it done. And it's all final. So there's a little bit of a scoreboard deal. I used to love doing scoreboard shows. Those were a lot of fun, you know. The Tech game is OSU's last home game. Okay, so that could be potentially Mike Gundy's final home game as the Oklahoma State head coach. Well, why not? In the words of Billy Chappell, why not? All right, anybody else got anything good? Otherwise, we're going to get this thing posted up, theraiderland.com. We'll get that column out ready to go for you tomorrow. And then next week, we will be with you live from the mountains of Red River, New Mexico. Lifts West Hotel and Condominium. We're going to be there next week doing all of our shows. We're going to be hanging out at Bull of the Woods, checking out yesterday's diner, getting some great breakfast and lunch. All of our good friends in Red River are going to go out there, hang out for a few days. Now, that's how nice I am, that I go on quasi-vacation. My wife's on vacation. I go on quasi-vacation. I'm still doing shows for you because, we love doing it that much, So we're going to be in Red River. We'll be there tomorrow night, hopefully. If I can get out of Dodge tomorrow, all this rain. And then we'll be with you in Red River, New Mexico, coming up next week. So be sure to check out the website, though, tonight and share the broadcast. And you can do that any form or fashion you want. And be sure, check out the column in the morning, 5 things we know on a Sunday. You guys are the best. I want to thank United Supermarkets again. All the communication brought to you by them. Thacker Jewelry, proud presenters of the Raiderland Rewind. And here in the Arctic Air Studios, if your air gets a little too Arctic in the coming days, you need to call the Bear. You know what that was? That was lightning. That was lightning right there. What a dramatic way to end it. Thank you. We appreciate the special effects. I didn't even have to pay extra for that. See you tomorrow morning, theraiderland.com.